November buck movement is inversely related to the number of does in estrus. We see the most mature bucks before and after the breeding peak. Every day, the hunt is either getting better or worse. It never stays the same. The first 10 days is a ticking clock, winding down our best opportunities as the number of does in estrus continues to rise. With this in mind, Lee Abraham heads back to the far corner of his farm where he saw the massive 9-pointer he calls Pop only a few days earlier. The hope, of course, is that Pop has not yet found a second doe and is still on the prowl.
Alright guys, November 4th, 6:40. Pop came in on a beeline, on a mission. It's been raining all night. The rain stopped, and as we thought it, with the wind, when the rain stopped, they would get on their feet, and he dropped that doe at some point last night, I'm sure. It's been about 72 hours since he picked her up. Everything worked to perfection except for execution, and that's just rushed it. Lots of emotions. Anxious. A little disappointed I didn't slow things down.
We spend months perfecting our shooting for moments like this, but there is little we can do during the preseason that fully prepares us for the adrenaline-charged moments that come when a giant buck is finally in range. Despite our best intentions, sometimes we make mistakes. Even as Lee is climbing down to check for blood that would indicate a hoped-for artery hit, Korey Wolfe is in a stand 75 miles away in northern Missouri.
Morning of November the 4th. I think this is the type of weather I've been waiting for. I'm excited about this morning's hunt. I'm all set up, ready to go. I haven't been in here in 5 days, and when I was in here last, missed a big old buck right over here. So, hope I get an opportunity today. Got a lot to think about in the stand, so looking forward to a relaxing day. Maybe interrupted by intense moments of big buck action. That's the plan. the buck I missed. Oh, that's the buck I missed on my birthday. Okay, well I got most of the family out here. Gonna help track.
Oh, there's blood.
Right there? Okay, let's go that way, Hope.
More blood. Oh my gosh! Did you see it? Did you see it the whole time?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I had no idea it was right there.
So Hope and Joshua and Monica helped me find my buck this morning. You know, this is the buck that I missed. Today he wasn't so lucky and he didn't get away this morning. So, you know, I just feel very fortunate to be able to chase these wonderful animals God's created for us, and just give thanks to Him, and just really cool experience.
Back on Lee's farm, the sick feeling turns to hope when a quick investigation turns up evidence of an artery hit. Lee immediately takes up the trail.
Alright, this is where we saw him go down in this draw. He stopped for a few seconds. This had to be where he stopped. There's a pretty good pile of blood here. Fingers crossed. Still very anxious, and again, we respect these animals so much and want lethal kills, and we're gonna do everything we can to recover this deer. Right here in the corn. He's not moving. Thank you, Lord. Again, just incredibly humbled, relieved. Just a specimen of a white-tailed deer. Utmost respect for these animals. I mean, 7-8-year-old deer. Just big head, big body. On this whole draw for years. We came in, made an aggressive move a few days ago, got in this bottom where he's close to his bedroom, tight on him, and we saw him with the doe. So he actually bred that doe. And at 5 o'clock, we saw him with that same doe. He was pushing other does away, pushing small bucks away. Hunt of a lifetime. A deer of a lifetime for me. Overall, just unbelievable story. Something I'll never forget. All the trail cam pics, all the sheds. Hope y'all enjoy it and can follow along going forward.
That same morning, hunting 250 miles to the east in central Illinois, Jeff Deets is in a redneck blind overlooking a small soybean plot.
It's the morning of November 4th. I got out here into the redneck blind this morning. Saw a few deer coming in, sitting in the spot where I killed Majestical last year, overlooking a couple bean plots and stuff, more of a late season stand, but I really didn't want to sit out in the rain in a tree, so gonna be comfortable inside here today, and if I don't see any deer, oh well, but hopefully get to see some movement here, and maybe deer out feeding or returning in, from their beds and stuff, and try and keep you updated as it goes.
just happened. That buck came in and it looked like a good mature buck. I know right where he went into and where he's headed, so hopefully he just lays down right in there and goes ahead and dies. So I'm pretty excited. With any kind of luck, I'm hoping that I just punched my first tag for Northern Illinois for the season. Okay, well, got out of the blind, had a couple buddies beat me. I probably wouldn't have pushed as fast as we're gonna go look for this deer, but it's supposed to start raining here pretty fast, so I'm actually starting to spit just a little bit now. It's been about an hour and a half, so hopefully as long as I got lung, he's already down. If not, I may just walk in 100 yards or so, see what we have for blood. If we don't find him, maybe back out and kind of start grid searching here in a little bit. But either way, want to see what we got for blood before the rain hits, and then hopefully be getting on a deer here real soon for you. I'm pretty sure I can see him right here. I'm pretty sure I see a body in here, so I'm just gonna walk in real slow.
All right, well, we got a nice little break from the weather here for a few minutes, so we were able to bring him back out to the plot where I shot him earlier today, and we ended up making the decision to go in before all the rain, and got on the blood trail, and it wouldn't have mattered either way. We're pretty fortunate he didn't go very far, probably only 5, maybe 10 yards into the timber, so easy recovery. Ended up being the buck that I called Jim, so I actually have quite a bit of history with this buck. A buddy of mine shot him last year as a 4-year-old, and didn't end up finding him, and we got quite a few trail camera pictures, and then I filmed him a couple times last season, and going into this year as a 5-year-old, knew it was a deer that I wanted to shoot if I got the chance, and knew he was kind of using this area quite a bit, and everything just worked out this morning with the rain that I happened to go into the blind, and he came by 20 minutes after 7, and the rest is pretty much history. But excited to wrap my tag around this deer for the 2018 season, and looking forward to bringing you some more action soon.
November 4th was a great morning for many team members. Jared Mills spends the morning hunting a farm near his central Iowa home.
It's getting late in the morning here, so Brad and I are going to climb down and try to make a plan for the afternoon if we're going to go out. Solid morning once it stopped raining. We're wet and cold now though, but just had that decent 4 or 5-year-old buck at 15 yards cruised by, and he and 2 others cruised between 9:30 and 10, so that was cool to see. The wind's switching a little more westerly, so we're going to make a decision, but we're going to climb down for now and hopefully get out this afternoon.
That afternoon I head to a narrow opening in the timber. The summer drought wiped out the big and beastie I planted here, but most years this is one of my best stands. This afternoon I'm heading to a spot that I call the Skinny Plot, and this is the little small food plot about 1 acre in size where I killed that buck that I nicknamed Skinny back in 2016. This I believe would be the west end of this buck that I'm calling the Big 7, on the west end of his, what I believe to be his range. I saw him in there last year, so I've got that much to go by, but it's really not very far from where I've been getting most of the pictures of that deer so far this year. So I do think that there's a possibility of him showing up in there. That's the reason we're hunting it. I'm going to gather up my stuff and get down there. It's a beautiful, if you want to call it that, rut hunting afternoon. Mid-40s, probably 10 to 15 mile an hour wind straight out of the west. Full overcast, steel gray sky. It just has that, that November feel to it. So it's going to be, if nothing else, it's just going to be fun to sit in the tree and just soak up November. About halfway through my evening sit so far. It was just a few minutes after we got up in the tree. A little 2-year-old buck pushed a doe into the plot, and then another, even younger, 1.5-year-old buck came and joined the chase. So we had some action early. We had a fawn that came in that was browsing right underneath the tree stand. I have a whole bunch of these kind of spots on the farm. I think I've got 6 or 7 of them that are real similar to this, and these are the types of places that I just love to hunt. Mornings and evenings, especially during the rut. It just seems like the bucks are always checking these spots, sort of like they're a community center or a social hub for this part of the farm. So any deer that is coming and going, they need to swing in here and check it out. So if you don't have little spots like this in your property and you have the ability to make them, they're a huge advantage. I mean, it'd be, like I said, they're the best spots on my whole farm, and they're not very hard to make either. A lot of times you can find little natural openings and then just turn them into a small food plot like this. So kind of keep that as a possible goal for the off season, is to create something similar to this where you hunt. And I know that you're going to love the kind of action and the close range shots that you get. As my afternoon hunt grinds to a slow close, Owen Riegler is in a stand 120 miles to the southwest, a spot where he hopes to see a giant old buck he calls Crabs.
Alright guys, November 4th, we're back in that area. I've been hunting crabs. We're just on the east end of that food plot we've been hunting. A couple days ago we hunted in a little draw right down there. It's a heck of a setup. Everything comes together right here. Like I said, we've got this road right here that we made. I keep that mowed year round, and then over on that side's the tree line with the open fence gap. It goes right by the redneck blind there. Late October last year, we filmed that crab's buck just right here. He was out here for probably an hour or so. We're hoping for a repeat tonight. We'll sit in here a couple hours and see how it goes. Looks like he's on that doe pretty hard. Unfortunately, he broke off. Broke off, didn't he? Double. That was a double G3 up there, like 20 inches of antler. Was it really? Well, we played our cards right. I figured it was a matter of time till he was in here. And sure enough, we had him right here. I don't know, maybe that's probably 70 yards out, but what a gigantic buck. So fortunate to even be able to see a deer that size. Yeah, the only downside is he broke like 20 inches off. I can't believe any buck in here would tangle with him, but he had a great big wishbone G3, 10 or 12 inch tines off both sides of it, and the whole thing's gone. Which I don't know when he did that, but last pictures I had, he had all of his tines, so. But he's in here on that doe, either she's in estrus or just coming in or something, but he'll be right here. He ain't going anywhere, trust me.
So big he can hardly run, Krabs makes his first appearance of the season and sets Owen on a new course. Krabs immediately becomes the #1 buck on Owen's list, as he would be for anyone who has ever picked up a bow.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, Joshua? You get to go on your first blood trail.
Oh my gosh! Did you see it?
Yeah. He's heavier for sure. Other than that, times and everything else exactly the same.
Sweet, he's been rubbing up.
Kicker back here.
That's cool.
Everything just worked out this morning with the rain that I happened to go into the blind, and he came by 20 minutes after 7, and the rest is pretty much history.
What a gigantic buck. So fortunate to even be able to see a deer that size.
Early November has been incredible. The action is nearly non-stop. As good as the first 4 days have been, we are still going up the roller coaster. Unbelievably, the best is yet to come. The excitement of comparing notes with buddies each evening and the raw tension we feel each morning as we head to our stands is almost breathtaking. It is hard to believe the thrill of the chase can take us on such a wild ride. But then again, why shouldn't it? This is the feeling we remember best, the one that makes our hearts beat fast months ahead of time. It is what drives our off-season preparation and fills our dreams. We have finally made it. We are chasing November.